Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and we're pleased to be joined by Heather Hadley, of course, who will be competing at next week's scholarship shootout for actually Mazda scholarship shootout for the MX5 Cup. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
So with the scholarship being postponed because of the hurricane a few weeks ago, we figured we'd get a couple of these drivers on to kind of talk about their stories. And so let's start with first off, before we get into that, talk about being a part of the scholarship. What's it going to be like when you go down there next week?
It's a lot of nerves. It's something that I've been thinking about and planning for a long time. I basically made the decision that I was going to be racing in MX5 Cup, I think earlier this year in April or May. So it's something that I've put a lot of work into up until this point, and I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to get the anticipation over. But yeah, it's a lot of nerves and also a lot of excitement, and I'm just really appreciative that they picked me as one of the 12, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So let's talk about how you got into racing and all that stuff. Like, just kind of go from there. Kind of how did this all start?
So I started racing when I was 9. My family doesn't really have any background in racing whatsoever. They knew nothing about motorsports. We just tried it out for fun. And so I started, indoor go-karting when I was 9 years old. And then after I think 6 months, I had won 104 out of 107 of my go-kart races, and I had like 100% winning average. And we were like, okay, maybe we should go up into professional, or I guess professional go-kart racing. And so we did that for 5 years. I was bouncing back and forth between 2-stroke and 4-stroke engine go-karts, and I accumulated, I think, 5 or 6 championships in go-karts just locally in the state. I never ventured out into anything national or regional in go-karts. And then I started racing legend cars when I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old. I think 13 is when we bought my first legend car, and I started racing locally at tracks like Sonoma Raceway and Thunder Hill in California, where I'm from. And then we started racing. We started venturing out a little bit more. We did a tour of the Northwest when I was in 2018 or 2019. Did that. And then I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I am now, to attend college and also to continue racing out here. And so I've been racing legend cars for a while, and I've just been basically racing all over the country. So yeah.
Just to clarify, are you at UNC Charlotte?
Yes.
Okay. It's where all racers go. I got
Yeah.
over there. So going in, what made, because in racing there's so many different avenues where you can go. You can go open wheel racing, you can go drag racing, sports cars, NASCAR. I mean, you're in Charlotte, of course. You're in NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe go towards that. But what drew you to sports cars and specifically the MX5 Cup?
Yeah, so I initially wanted, like you said, to go into the NASCAR direction. That's why I moved out to Charlotte, North Carolina. But I kind of was flip-flopping back and forth. I've always loved road course racing. I've always been actually better at road course racing. And so just doing some circle track racing out here, and continuing to also do road course racing. Like we were racing on the Charlotte road course, like the Roval, and doing a bunch of fun things out here, like racing in Florida. We did road course world finals with legend cars several times. And so I've just made the decision this year that I'm going to fully commit for the first time ever in my racing career to one, which is road course racing. I've never done that. I've always kept both my options open. I've always done both circle track and road course racing, but I've finally decided I'm just going to commit to one. And I knew that the MX5 Cup Series would be the best, the most realistic, the most ideal, and just most exciting direction for me, and the one that I could just realistically see myself doing well in. I thought that I was experienced enough to go in and not, going way over my head. I knew that I had a lot to learn,
Yeah.
but I still figured that it would be the perfect series for me, with the right team and with, just the right experience. So, yeah, I think it'll work out really well, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So going into you said you just are focusing on one series, and this is the first time you've ever done that. What's that going to be like, just to only worry about one thing? Because racers want to just race like everything. But
Yeah.
what's it going to be like just to do that? Because it's not that long of a season. I mean, there's a lot of gaps in between races in MX5.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love road course racing. I always have. I think I've been just a little bit better at road course racing because I started out in go-kart racing. I didn't start circle track racing until I was like 14 years old. So, yeah, I've always just really enjoyed road course racing, and I'm really, really excited to just commit to one. And I think it'll go really well. Having your eggs in, different baskets is really tough sometimes because you're getting pulled in different directions. And when you circle track race, you kind of get used to what that's about, and then when you road course race, you kind of forget about just some of the important aspects of each one. So yeah, it's tough to do both, but I think it'll go really well to commit to one. And it won't be for the long term, but it'll definitely be for the short term, the next few years, that I'm going to just commit to one. And I think it'll go well.
So that kind of led into my next question. So, what's the end goal for you? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be at the top level of IM? But there obviously in IMSA, there you can make you don't have to race in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. You don't have to. You can make a career out of the Michelin Pilot Challenge, or what we've had lately is people are just making careers out of the MX5 Cup,
Right.
or do other racing series persuade you a little bit? Like, could you want to try NASCAR, or maybe run some ARCA races, or what specifically do you want to do? Like, where do you want to end up?
I think for the short term, I'm definitely committed to working my way up through IMSA, and that's what I'm most focused on as of now. When we get there, I will think about that. I'm obviously open to anything and everything in racing. I will race anything. I don't care. Um, but yeah, for now, I think just I want to continue racing in IMSA. I would love to just make it to the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. To race in a series like that would be phenomenal for me. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, well, Heather, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck next week at the scholarship shootout. And we'll talk to you later on, and we'll talk to you in a few months. How about that?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.